One of these books says your thoughts create your reality. Another says tiny actions matter more than big goals, and somehow they both changed my life completely. Today I'm breaking down 5 books that seem like they should contradict each other, but together they form a complete framework for understanding how change actually works. Here's what makes these books different. They are not just motivational. Each one is built on decades of research, real-world testing, or systems thinking that's been validated across multiple fields. When you understand all 5 perspectives together, you start seeing patterns in everything, from why businesses fail to why New Year's resolutions don't stick. We're covering The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, Atomic Habits by James Clear, Get It Done by Elliot Fishbach, Ninja Future by Gary Shapiro, and Thinking in Systems by Donella Meadows. Let's start with the most controversial one, the Law of Attraction. The book claims this law of attraction operates like gravity, constant and universal. Now, before you click away, let's separate the metaphysics from the psychology. The quantum physics claims in the book are widely disputed by actual physicists, but the psychological mechanisms the book describes are backed by legitimate research. It filters information and decides what deserves your attention. When you focus on something, say red cars, you suddenly notice red cars everywhere. They were always there, your brain just started prioritizing them. Research published in the Journal of Consulting and Clinical Psychology found that mental practice improved performance almost as much as physical practice in certain tasks. Athletes have used visualization techniques for decades with documented results. Once you believe something is possible, you continuously seek evidence that supports it and filter out contradictory information. This isn't mystical, it's cognitive science. Whether or not thoughts attract reality in a metaphysical sense, they absolutely shape what you notice, how you interpret events, and which opportunities you pursue. Practical instruction focused clearly on what you want aligns with goal-setting research that shows specific visualization goals outperform vague intentions. James Clear flips conventional wisdom. The book argues that goals are less important than systems. Clear presents the 1% better philosophy. If you improve by just 1% each day, you'll be 37 times better after 1 year due to the compound effects. Firstly, decline by 1% daily and you will decline to nearly zero. It builds on decades of behavioral psychology research, particularly B.J. Frogg's work on Stanford on tiny habits and Charles Duhigg's research on habit loops. When performance director Dave Brailsford took over in 2003, he applied marginal gains philosophy, improving every tiny element by 1%. Within 5 years, British cyclists dominated the Olympics. They redesigned bike seats for comfort, tested fabrics for aerodynamics, and even painted the inside of the team truck white to spot dirt that might slow bikes. Research on habit information shows it takes between 18 to 254 days to form a new habit, with an average of 66 days, basically 2 months. Clear's focus on making habits obvious and attractive, easy, and satisfying align with what behavioral scientists call friction reduction. Perhaps the most powerful idea: focus on who you want to become, not what you want to achieve. Self-perception theory shows that people infer their own attitudes and beliefs from observing their behavior. Each small action casts a vote for the type of person you are becoming. Studies on identity and behavior change show that when people adopt identity-based language, I'm a runner versus I run, they maintain the behavior longer and more consistent. Before we continue, if you want to actually apply what you're learning from these books, you need a system to track your thinking. That's why I created the 5-minute morning journal that actually works. And it's completely free. This journal will get you on track to writing like never before. You'll never get left behind again. And most of all, you'll feel healthier than ever before. Download it now using the link in the description below. Now let's talk about book number 3, The Core Idea, the Middle Program. Ayelet Fishbach, a behavioral scientist at the University of Chicago, reveals something unexpected. Most goals fail in the middle, not at the start. High at the beginning, drops dramatically in the middle, then rises again near the end. Fishbach conducted studies tracking everything from gym memberships to online courses. The data consistently shows the same U-shaped curve. People who start a 10-visit loyalty card are most likely to quit after visits 4 and 6. Her research on the goal gradient hypothesis found that people accelerate their efforts as they approach a goal. In one study, consumers with coffee shop loyalty cards purchased coffee more frequently as they neared a free reward. The 10th cup was purchased faster than the second. Intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. One of Fishbach's most valuable contributions is distinguishing between these motivation types. Her research shows that intrinsic motivation, doing something because it's inherently enjoyable, is more sustainable than extrinsic motivation, doing it for external rewards. Studies she references found that when children were given rewards for drawing something they already enjoyed, they drew less frequently afterward when the rewards were removed, and the external reward undermined their intrinsic interest. The emergency reserve framework. Fishbach introduces the concept of emergency reserves for goals, backup plans that activate when primary motivation fails. Research shows that implementation intentions, if then plans, significantly increase success rates. One meta-analysis found that implementation intentions had a medium to large effect on goal achievement across 94 studies. Her work reveals that asking why you're pursuing a goal increases motivation for difficult tasks, while asking how helps with tasks you're avoiding. This aligns with construal level theory in psychology. The core idea, adaptability as strategy. Gary Shapiro, CEO of the Consumer Technology Association, argues that the future belongs to those who can adapt like ninjas quickly, strategically, and with constant awareness of their environment. The book examines how innovation happens and why certain companies, countries, and individuals thrive during technological disruption while others fail. The innovation ecosystem research draws on data from the tech industry's evolution over 3 decades. The reference studies showing that companies in the Fortune 500 have an average lifespan that's increased from 61 years in 1958 to less than 18 years today. The pace of disruption is accelerating. The book examines why the US innovation ecosystem produces disproportionate technological advancement. Research shows it's not just funding, combination of failure tolerance, immigration policies, talent, university industry partnerships, and intellectual property protections. Shapiro presents data on what he calls ninja characteristics. Research on organizational resilience shows that companies that invest in employee training and maintain flexible organizational structure outperform rigid competitors during disruptions. The book references studies on expert performance showing that top performers in any field share common traits. They practice deliberately. They practice deliberately, seek feedback constantly, and update their mental models based on new information. Technology adoption patterns. To reach 50 million users took 38 years. TV took 13 years. The internet took 4 years. Facebook took 2.5 years. And Pokemon Go took 19 days. The acceleration is dramatic, and Shapiro argues that individuals and organizations must develop learning agility to keep pace. Research on learning agility, the ability to learn from experience and adapt with learning to new situations, shows it's one of the strongest predictors of leadership success in changing environments. The core idea, everything is connected. This book is arguably the most intellectually rigorous on this list. She presents thinking a framework for understanding how complex systems behave, from ecosystems to economies to personal habits. A system, Meadow explains, is a set of interconnected elements organized to achieve a function. Systems have stocks, accumulations, rates of change, And feedback loops, information that influences future behavior. Why systems thinking matters. Meadows demonstrates why our intuition fails with complex systems. We see linear cause and effect, but systems operate through loops, delays, and nonlinear relationships. A famous example by turning off the inflow of the faucet or increasing the outflow of the drain. Most policy failures happen because we focus on only one leverage point when multiple factors interact. The book distinguishes between reinforcing loops, which amplify changes, and balancing loops, which resist change. Understanding this explains why diets fail, why rich get richer, and why small advantages compound into large inequalities. Researching complex systems shows that time delays between action and consequences because most system failures. When you turn the shower handle and water temperature doesn't change immediately, you keep adjusting, and then suddenly it's scalding. This delay overshoot pattern appears in everything from thermostat behavior to economic policy. Leverage points. Meadows' most influential contribution in her hierarchy, leverage points, places to intervene in a system, ranked by effectiveness. The most obvious interventions, changing numbers like budgets, are the least effective. The most powerful interventions are changing paradigms, goals, and system rules. Her research shows system structure determines behavior more than individual actors. Put good people in a bad system and the system wins almost every time. This had profound implications for everything from education, reform to organizational change. The sustainability insight. Meadows worked extensively on environmental systems and demonstrated that sustainable systems maintain three characteristics: subsystems. How they fit together. Here's where it gets interesting. Atomic habit zooms on in behavioral level, how small actions compound through repetition. Get it done addresses the motivational level, how to sustain effort across the predictable challenges of goal pursuit. They're not contradictory, they're complementary. The secret focus shapes reality. Get it done. The real insight isn't choosing between these perspectives, it's integrating them. When you do, you start seeing patterns everywhere. You understand why quick fixes fail, why some changes stick while others don't, and where to focus your effort for maximum impact. These aren't just books, they're operating systems for thinking about thinking. Once you install them, there is no going back. Now here's the thing, reading about these ideas is one thing, but actually implementing them requires daily practice. That's exactly why I created the 5-minute morning journal that actually works. Want to keep your journaling game on top? This free journal will get you on track to writing journals like never before. You'll never get left behind again, and most of all, you feel healthier than ever before. Download it now using the link in the description below. If you found this valuable, hit the like button and subscribe for more information on books that actually change how you think. See you in the next one.